Hey, we made this.
Serious question. As it's the season of goodwill, what's your favourite Christmas film?
Conan the Barbarian.
Look up at me so tall, look up at me so tall, or I will kiss your face. Tonight the end of the world, I'm punishing human race. Well, it's your birthday, so have a party. We're sorry about all of that now to cross midnight. Everybody is welcome. Their Christmas is awesome. Everybody is welcome. Oh, come on. You're in church, you gotta go and stop.
Welcome back to the CineMortuary podcast, the fortnightly look at sequels, prequels, remakes, rebootquels of many and varying qualities.
Yes.
I'm Rob, and sitting directly opposite me, some might say uncomfortably close, but we've known each other a long time, it's fine. Dave, how are you doing?
I'm alright, mate. How are you?
Good, yeah, good. I mean, I do like the festive season, but this year it's not quite the same for me. It's not quite the same as it has been in previous years.
No, because it's fucking October.
Spoiler alert. Hey, look, the fucking Christmas stuff's out in Tesco, so...
Poundland as well.
Poundland, yeah. My dad sent me into Poundland when he'd had a few pints the other week, because he wanted a jar of QT, which is instant tea, and 2 packs of batteries, and he literally couldn't be arsed to go himself, so he sent me...
But it's great that all that is in one shop.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. My dad fucking loves Poundland. He knows where he stands, he knows whatever he buys, it's going to be £1.
Yeah.
And he can get his batteries and his QT at the same time.
Absolutely, yeah. It knows it's placed as Poundland.
Yeah.
Pound World was over ambitious.
Yeah.
And that's why it's gone and been bought out by Poundland. Poundland knows that, Continent Max, Pound World, no.
Just sell it for £1, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this Christmas period's not quite the same as normal for me because something's missing from my life that's been there previously, and that is Chris Wilson.
The ghost of Christmas past himself.
Clanking his change somewhere.
Clanking his spoon in his teacup.
Yes, yeah. I feel like it would be great to get a clip of the Marley and Marley song from the Muppet Christmas Carol to accompany Chris Wilson in this episode. Chains! Basically, full disclosure, Chris Wilson does not like Christmas, or in fact me or Dave, and has decided to make the executive decision to not be present for this recording.
Also, full disclosure, he can't actually be here because he's Santa Claus.
Yes. Yeah. He's accompanying Bill Goldberg on his jaunt around America.
You only found out about that film last week, so you've got me on the hype there.
Yeah. Well, he sent me a couple of things that he would like to have interjected into the podcast at the final thoughts at the end.
Okay.
And, obviously that might get a mention.
Absolutely. What was the name of the film?
Santa's Sleigh.
That's it, yes.
Bill
Vastly
Goldberg.
superior to Santa with muscles.
Have you seen it? I've not seen Santa's Sleigh.
I've just seen bits. I've seen him doing his Goldberg kick to just like random people in a shopping mall. It looks pretty funny. Goldberg does look a beast in it, as you'd expect.
Yeah. He's a beast, that's why.
Yeah. I'm going to watch it at Christmas, I think.
Yeah.
Instead of fucking Bad Santa.
Maybe we could have a team viewing.
Yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus.
Anywho.
Yes.
So, it's my turn, and...
Actually, you know what? First of all, fuck you.
Okay. Is that it?
Because this film, Black Christmas 2006...
That's this week's film audience, yeah?
Yes, is very much under the radar.
Yes.
And therefore costs more than 50 pence from CEX.
I had to buy a DVD of this.
£5 on Amazon, not interested. So it took me a long while to find it, but I did find it. Thanks to shout out by Chris Wilson.
The master of
finding artifacts that are buried for good reason. Also, fuck you.
Okay.
This film, because it says Black Xmas on the front, means I have to search for, to find this, by legitimate means or not, I have to search for Black Christmas.
Yes.
Black Christmas brackets 2006, Black Christmas without brackets 2006, Black Christmas and the director's name, Black Xmas, Black Xmas all one word, Black Xmas with a hyphen in the middle, and yeah, fuck you.
Good. It's exactly what I hoped
It
it
was
would
an
be.
uphill battle to find this bastard.
That's
Just
good.
to,
Do you know what I did? I put Black Christmas 2006 into the Amazon search and bought a DVD for about £3.
the cheapest I could find was £5.95
It might have been that.
on Prime. Not interested.
I was interested.
At this point, I spent an hour looking for this fucker by illegitimate means.
And so you called him Wilson.
I called in the big guns. Yeah.
I can imagine. Have you seen Minority Report?
Yes.
So there's that scene where Tom Cruise is like doing his little finger action on his like touch screen computers. That's Wilson with illegal streams and downloads. Just fucking.
Wilson, I'll need this in 720 with Hindi subtitles. No problem. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Justify your choice.
Okay. I really like the original.
Turns out I haven't seen the original.
Okay.
We watched Silent Night, Deadly Night, and I got it really mixed up.
Oh, no, not the same.
No.
Okay, so the original is actually quite an interesting film. So the original was made, I think, in 1976, a couple of years before Halloween.
Yes.
And it was the first film to use the tracking shot opening. John Carpenter has since openly admitted that Bob Clark's original opening, he basically pilfered for Halloween. The difference between the two is that in 1978, the Panaglide technology that Carpenter used was available. When Black Christmas was shot, it wasn't.
Okay.
So it's a bit janky-clanky. And so everyone assumes that Halloween is the master and originator of this, but it's not. It's actually Black Christmas.
Yeah.
Also noted for starring Margot Kidder.
Who is in this film, isn't she? Or is it one of the other cast?
I think there may be a wee cameo in there. Somewhere along the line, but Margot Kidder this was not that long before Superman. Margot Kidder, this was
Right.
pre-Lois Lane,
Okay, yeah.
but not by much.
Okay.
So she was kind of the bigger name in the film.
Okay, she was the next big thing at the time, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So, as you've not seen the original, I assume, since this was picked, there is quite a lot of very specific references to the original, which I will go through as we go.
I felt that they were there, even though I didn't know what they were calling back to.
Yes.
But they felt like they were there.
Yeah. So, I really like the original. I thought, let's give this a crack. I did
Seen it before?
No. And there is another scheduling reason why I picked this. So, as of recording, depending on which week we release this, there is a new 2019 Redux.
There is.
Which will be released either 2 days before this episode comes out, or a week before.
You're so clever.
Thank you. So, and that's the new remake is by Blumhouse that did Halloween and all of that jazz.
Yep. Rapidly growing up the respectable ranks of horror remakers.
Yeah, exactly. So, I thought it'd be fairly current, and also, we're not overly endowed with Christmas horror films. There's a few out there that fall under our remit. There's a few.
Yes.
There's a remake of Silent Night, Deadly Night starring Malcolm McDowell. There is some sequels to Silent Night, Deadly Night, and there's bits and bobs.
So we're good for a few years.
Yeah, we're good for a few years. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we can get more creative thereafter.
Yes. I can't wait.
That'll be fun, won't it?
All my tenuous links are going to come out.
Yeah,
finally.
exactly. So that was my reason for picking it. And there was the third reason for my research of this film. And this will shock you to hear, because I believe you may believe this film dragged a little, would you say?
It did drag, and I looked at that boy runtime.
Yes, well, that was another reason for picking it. 80 minutes.
Yes. And I thought the film had ended at one point, and I thought, oh, Christ. Okay, there's more.
Yep.
Okay, another 10 minutes.
Yep.
Fuck me, all right.
Yeah, exactly. And there's quite a bit of interesting casting, which we'll go through as we go as well.
Yes.
But yeah, I guess we should just dive on right in, really, hadn't we?
Absolutely.
We open on a sorority house decked out for Crimbo. Standard.
As is the season.
'Tis the season, indeed. I do love a festive horror. I feel like there should be more of them.
We've just said there should be more of them.
There should be more of them.
You've listed all of them.
Yeah, that was it. That was the list. Like, I feel like there is an untapped market there.
Absolutely. Does Black Santa with Ken Foray reprising his role from Dawn of the Dead count?
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
Imagine
Uh,
if someone said, Dave, I'm
right.
calling you from Dimension Studios, for example, because they made this film.
I thought you were going to say I'm calling you from my deepest dimension.
No. we're calling you from Dimension Films.
Yep.
We are making a Christmas-themed horror film.
Mm-hmm.
We would like you to score it. Mm-hmm. Imagine the fun you'd have with that. All them festive jingles in a horror context.
Yes, I would. You know what I would do? I would assign every character in the film to have a ringtone,
Right.
like a polyphonic later model.
Oh, I've seen that somewhere.
Yeah, I would give them all a festive ringtone.
Yeah.
But I would make some of them pretty much exactly the same, so I couldn't keep track of whose phone was where, even though at one point in the film it would be sort of the crux of a reveal and a twist.
Yes.
Yeah, I would definitely do that.
Well, the director of this film has form for remaking horror. Mm-hmm. This is the second film this director's remade of 2 remakes, and indeed 2 films that this director has directed. Mm-hmm. The first one is one that I've toyed with picking before. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you've seen this. This director's first one was the remake of Willard, starring Crispin Glover.
Nothing you said is jumping out at me, but go on.
Basically, it's about a guy. It's kind of a bit of a twist on the Piper story, but with like rats that kill people.
Okay.
I've only seen bits and bobs of the Crispin Glover version. I've never seen the original.
Yeah.
But I've heard it's potentially one that might be worth a little watch at some point.
Okay.
So maybe we will one day.
I only know this is Glenn Morgan, yes?
Yes.
Yes. My only knowledge of Glenn Morgan is the live-action Dragon Ball Z movie from about 7 years ago.
Okay.
And the guy that tanked Millennium in Season 2. So...
Yeah, he did some stuff with X-Files as well, I believe.
Yes.
The redux of the X-Files.
Yes. He was known as... Him and Glenn Morgan and James Wong
yeah.
Yes. Were the ones that kind of did X-Files B-sides episodes.
Yeah.
Which some of them were fun, some of them were quirky, but some of them were just, like, unwelcomely fun and quirky.
Yeah.
And he did the same for Millennium.
And James Wong was also heavily involved in the Final Destination franchise.
Yes.
Which was, this is the same year as Final Destination 3.
Yes.
Also starring Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
So there's good stuff and there's bad stuff.
Yeah,
for these
exactly,
guys.
exactly.
The scales
yeah.
are tipping because of the... but...
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, this is a film where you have to throw any sense of not appreciating shit out of the window. And that's made clear in the second scene of the film after the opening of the sorority house, where we go to a asylum, and the first shot we have is a door with "criminally insane" stamped on it.
And people fucking snatching food through the shit.
Yeah.
It's like they went up to the guy that created Bugs Bunny and were just like, right, make a cartoon about insane people.
Yep.
And this is what came out.
Yeah. Very much. It's very Acme, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like it's got a Batman Forever vibe to it.
Yeah. I can hear Wilson from it. Fucking hasn't. Batman Forever's a fucking masterpiece.
Batman and Robin was his... Does he stand positively on Forever?
I think he does, yeah.
Right, okay,
I
yeah.
think he does.
But Batman and Robin is the obvious masterpiece.
Yeah, obviously that's the Citizen Kane of the original Batman franchise in his eyes.
Moving on.
Yeah. Chill out.
Cool off, bird boy. Rob, what killed the dinosaurs?
The Ice Age!
The Ice Age!
He's going to be fuming he's missed this, by the way. Sorry, Wilson. Yeah, so it's Christmas dinner time at the sanatorium. And a Santa gets lost on the ward and finds Billy, our killer from the prior evil, as we call it in slasher films, cell. He's a notorious killer. That is emphasised by the Santa's reaction. Billy's the killer from the original as well. That is canon. And that sort of establishes, oh, fucking hell, this guy's like the boogeyman, basically. And then we cut to the dude who plays the lead girl's father in the TV series Scream Queens, which is the only thing I've ever seen him in before.
Is this the Santa?
No, sorry. This is we go back to the frat house and there's like a guy making out with a girl in the car and he's a bit older than her. If you ever have a chance to check out the first series of Scream Queens, I recommend you do. You like it. Don't watch the second one. It's fucking awful and they got cancelled.
Noted.
But yeah, there's a guy and a girl having a little snog in a car. And it's sort of established that she's one of the sorority girls, and that kind of enters us into the sorority house where we meet a very 2006 set of sorority girls.
Yes.
Led by Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Yep.
Michelle Trachtenberg from Buffy.
Yes, a woman who permanently looks like she's been at a week-long festival.
Yeah, and one of the girls from Mean Girls, who rather irritatingly looks exactly like Michelle Trachtenberg.
Yep.
To the point where I got them confused with each other throughout the film.
It's my major bone of contention with this film is that I can't tell people apart.
Yeah.
Until Eleanor chimes in, oh, that's what they're from. And then I remember them from something else.
Yeah. So, there's the girl that's Michelle... spoilers for later. So, the girl from Mean Girls is the one that gets dragged underneath the house.
Yes, yeah, I got informed of that. Yeah.
And Michelle Trachtenberg is the one that has an eye-popping time later on.
With the ice skate.
And she gets, like, bang off the head on the landing.
No, Michelle Trachtenberg gets the ice skate.
Okay, well, let's revisit that later.
She is...
She's Dawn Summers from Buffy. Not Dawn Summers, she's some... Is it Buffy's sister from Buffy?
Dawn Summers, yeah.
Anyway, I'm not a big Buffy fan. I'm sorry, Wilson. I've tried.
I'm going to get you a picture up.
Yeah. She's got dark hair. So, we introduce the girls in the house, and we kind of intercut back to and from the sorority house and the insane asylum. So, the next scene in the insane asylum is Billy gives a present to his guard through his little feeding hatch thing.
I was expecting like a piece of poo or like
Yeah.
or something.
It's just a piece of paper saying, I'll be home for Christmas.
Yeah.
Just like, I'd be a little bit disappointed if I was that guard.
Yeah. The Santa Claus, I will point out, gave him a candy cane, which he has been tediously sucking into a sharp point.
Yes. We'll see if anything happens with that, shall we?
Ooh.
So yeah, this present sort of gets the guard's dander up, so to speak, and he decides to pile into Billy's cell to see what the crack is.
We'll fuck you up.
And he discovers a hole in the wall, and he thinks, "Oh fuck, he's escaped."
It's Tim Robbins it.
Yeah, but it's a trap, and Billy jumps out on him and canes him in the neck.
Canes him.
Caned him right in the neck.
No sugarcoating that kill.
Oh,
Yeah.
It'll rot your teeth, will that?
Yeah.
And indeed every other part of your body. It's a fairly functional kill. I think we'll get into it further as we go, but I do think it does deliver. Say what you will about this film. It delivers a few kills and a few giblets here and there.
Yes.
Yeah, picking out positives.
In the eye of the beholder.
Yeah, oh, stop it, you.
Yeah.
So
bag over your head.
Yeah, bag off the head, yeah. Bagged it, tagged it, fucked it off. And we go back to the sorority house, and one of the girls is watching a sex tape featuring the dude from the car, the guy that was in Scream Queens at the start.
Quick time 4, am I right?
Yeah, man. Talk to me about this classic piece of technology, Dave.
It's beautiful. I think on Winstead's computer as well. I need to stop doing that on my watch. Winstead's computer as well. She's got the classic Winamp skin as well.
Right.
Blue chrome. I was having a great time with all this retro computer.
Yeah, I
business.
bet you were.
It was fucking sick. Yeah, way better than the film. So she's watching a sex tape. Problem is, she looks... She's not the woman in the sex tape.
Yeah, I think she is.
She is the woman in the sex tape, but
yeah.
she happens to look like the bird that he's banging at the minute.
Yeah, because he has a type, obviously.
Yeah, so I just thought, oh, she's watching a sex tape of him and his new missus. That's going to come back around later. The sex tape got out or something. But, oh, all right, okay, different woman. Fuck's sake, all right, okay.
Because she's watching the sex tape of them two having sex, because later on there's a scene where his partner, who becomes the final girl later on, finds the sex tape, and she's like, you fucking arsehole.
You've been fucking this other lass who's watching sex tapes of herself and you with...
Yeah.
But there's some quite fun scenes with the screensaver and some, depth of field shots.
Yeah, some random, like, the little pop-up that covers the
Yeah,
action.
it covers the faces. It's quite nicely done, and they're always, like, walking over to the laptop out of focus, then they go back. And
Yeah.
That might be the most fun part of the film for me.
Yeah.
Apart from the kit, obviously.
We'll have to rewind here, because I've just quickly realised that we didn't even discuss the pre-credit kill that kicks us all off, which is one of the fraternity girls gets bagged and tagged and put in the loft on the rocking chair.
Yes.
Now, that's important because that's canon. Because that shit happens.
Oh, that's canon.
Oh, that's canon. Because that happens in the first one. Basically, a goal goes missing in the first one, and it kind of leads to the rest of the events. But just so immediately, and that is quite important because immediately we're onto the fact that, hang on a minute, there must be two killers here.
If he's in that prison cell, how's that girl been killed?
Exactamundo, my friend.
Yes.
Now,
I understand the film better now. You've just asked all these questions.
yes. See, you're getting there now.
I have to find my sister Claire. Who the fuck is Claire?
Yeah, exactly. So Claire's the girl that gets killed at the start.
Oh, fucking hell.
And Claire, in the original, is also a girl that gets killed in the start, but her sister doesn't tip up, her dad does. Anywho, so that's the thing that happens. Now, important thing to note here, which sort of 5-10 minutes into the film is immediately quite problematic. Heavy spoiler alert.
Yeah.
In the original, there is one killer. It is Billy.
Yep.
So everything around that
Yep.
is a creation for this film.
Yes. So, immediately, I've noticed you've had to do a lot of note dumping here.
Yes.
And I've kind of been absorbing what's going on.
Yes.
We've not even got to, like, the time travel flashback stuff yet.
No, that's...
when Billy's a kid.
That's fucking miles away, yeah.
So, this film is a fucking mess.
Yeah, so the problem with this film is, I don't know if it's like, it almost feels like someone turned around to him and said, right, we're going to remake Black Christmas, guys, you all up for it? And like, yeah, fucking nice one, classic, yeah. 2006 audience would be bang up for that. People that have just made Final Destination 3, that was a fucking thumping thrill ride. please see our episode on it.
And no holds barred adrenaline.
Yeah. Please do that into the mics.
A no thrills ride, a genuine rush.
No thrills ride. Fucking right. Yeah.
I'm trying to make myself look appalling compared to you. You see, that's what I'm trying to do. So the sell of it is great. You think, yeah, fucking, I'm up for making that. And then it's like someone turned around to him in the development and said, one thing, you're going to have an hour and 20 minutes to tell a story in. Mm-hmm. And the filmmakers have shit the bed and thought, right, let's fucking throw everything at the screen. Mm-hmm. Like, there's so much happening all the time. That's why I've got so many notes, because there's shit happening all the time, and none of it means anything because there's too much of it.
Yes.
So the next thing that happens in the narrative is that Sex Tape Girl hears a music box playing from the attic, so she has a little moochie poo up to the attic and gets it's a bit of an Eye of the Tiger moment, shall we say.
You're not having that.
Oh.
No. What has Eye of the Tiger got to do with this other than eyes?
Eyes, that's it.
There needs to be a connection.
Okay, she gets her eyes ripped out and killed.
Eye of the Tiger.
Okay, he's the king of the fight.
Absolutely. Rocky start, definitely.
Yeah.
Hey?
Maybe we should do Rocky for my next pick. Rocky 2. It's a horror film.
Because he breaks people's fingers in the first one.
Exactly. Fuck it. Yeah, so she gets the tag.
Yeah.
Pretty brutally, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. Gets the eye pulled out. She sees Claire's body, but the killer's kind of like all off screen and from point of view. We move us back to the sanatorium again, and Santa's looking to get laid.
Yep.
This is pretty bad. This is Halloween 2 level bad.
What, in terms of just a delivery system for people trying to convey something?
Yeah.
Like just two actors just headbutting each other, essentially.
Yeah, and there's one of the Friday the 13th films, and I can't remember which one it is. I think it's the start of 4, where Jason's put in a body bag because it follows on immediately from the third one, and he gets taken to the morgue, and there's literally a guy watching telly in the morgue with Jason's body behind him, and he starts like getting off with his missus, and Jason twists his fucking head off.
Yeah. Santa and the nurse trying to get it on, and in the background shit happening.
Yeah.
And Eleanor pipes up next to me. Ever since I taught her this phrase, she just uses it just so cuttingly, because obviously he's an older, more rotund Santa.
Yes.
It's quite a decent looking nurse.
Yeah.
And she just kind of mutters between chewing on a toast, "Oh, he punching."
Yep. Yep. So he looks for his side woman, but instead finds the tag, doesn't he? Classic blood splatter, off-camera kill.
Mm-hmm. It's a toe tag. Going to take you to the morgue, bitch.
Yeah, fucking word. And so Billy steals a Santa suit and makes his escape.
And then throws the Santa suit in the bin.
Yeah. Well, you don't want to, cross the gimmicks with Silent Night, Deadly Night too much, do you?
You could do.
So we go back to the girls in the house, where the backstory of Billy has been told like a sort of campfire tale almost, just without the campfire.
But can I say, I'm sorry, I'm really not okay with any of this. I mean, buying a Christmas present for a serial killer?
No, you see, serial killers murder repeatedly for sexual thrill. Billy Lenz was a spree killer. Dude just fucking lost it.
Oh, whatever, Melissa. Okay, I'm just offended by a pagan sacrifice to ward off evil spirits on Christmas.
Yeah, they were just having a little bit of fun. Christmas is more about warding off evil spirits than Halloween. What Christmas shit in this room resembles anything Christian, huh? It's all neo-pagan magic. Christmas tree, a magical rite ensuring the return of the crops. The mistletoe is nothing but a conception charm. 5th century Christians jacked a Roman winter festival. 12 days in December where the nights were long and the earth was roamed by the demons of chaos.
We get a nice Wikipedia dump on the origins of Christmas.
We do, yeah. And I think this might be our first flashback into the 70s, where we witness Billy's mum being a bit of a bitch, but his dad having a heart and hiding him a present in a little hidey hole.
Yes. His dad, set up as an ex-Marine,
Yes.
It takes a lot of shit, to be fair.
Yeah, the ex-Marine gets the shit beaten out of him by his wife.
Yep.
And eats the big tag.
And a boyfriend as well.
Yes. But I think she hammers him.
Yep.
And Billy witnesses this from under the bed.
Well, I noticed,
Yes.
correct me if I'm wrong, because I thought it was very weird, because he's getting hammered in the back of the head through POV of Billy.
Yeah.
But someone, I think it's her, wearing stockings, is sat on a box further back watching.
Okay.
I don't think it's a crew member.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that.
Yeah.
I must confess.
So I think it's the fella doing the jacking.
Yeah.
And she's just sat watching. I think
Okay.
that's it. Yeah.
And Billy's got some kind of liver disease as well that makes him yellow.
Oh, fucking.
I can't remember if that's canon or not. I'm going to say TBC on that. I'll have to rewatch the original again, which I should have done really in preparation for this. But
Have to say,
the liver disease thing feels like something that's been established in the previous film.
there's no reason you'd bring that in and paint a guy yellow.
Yeah.
Unless it had already been a thing.
I
and you were
think it
stuck
was.
with it.
Yeah, I think it was.
But I have to say, Glenn Morgan making a film about a guy that, crawls behind the walls, kills people,
Yeah.
tears them apart, and has yellow skin. It just reminded me of how much of a better time I was having watching Tombs and the X-Files.
Fair.
I'll change my mind by the end. I'll give it 10 popcorns.
Yeah, I'm sure you won't. Yeah, so we're telling campfire stories at the house, and there's it's established that there's a tradition where one of the girls in the house, they have a secret Santa. One of them draws Billy, and they have to buy him a present to presumably, ward up some kind of evil association in the house. And it transpires that Mary Elizabeth Winstead drew Billy's name but hadn't got him a present because she don't give a fuck and she thinks it's all a load of bollocks.
Fair enough.
Which, is a perfectly natural reaction to something so fucking weird.
Yeah, it's 2006. Probably shouldn't be doing that no more. No.
So that's kind of established as, she cursed herself. Find out later. The next thing that happens, and this is kind of like, this was almost like, in 3D horror films where they make a big fucking deal out of pointy objects in 3D.
Yeah.
Right? This isn't in 3D, but a massive deal is made out of the woman who looks after the girls, sort of house mistress, whatever the title is.
Like mother or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, they have
Big
them in sorority
sisters.
houses. I think they're like a representative of the university that lives in and makes sure they're not fucking doing coke all day or whatever.
Yeah. Good job we don't have that here.
Yeah. She eats a toasted marshmallow with a giant skewer from the fireplace.
Yeah.
The skewer's made far too obvious for it not to come back into play later.
Yes.
So let's see if that happens. And yeah, this is all intercut with the backstory. And then immediately after the backstory and the death of the father and the marshmallow, we get the first call from Billy.
Yes.
Now, I would like, before I go into the lineage of this tactic in the franchise, well, it's not a franchise, in the previous film, the original, I'd like to get your thoughts on the nature of this call from Billy.
Billy is a fucking sick sound designer, is what he is.
Yeah. Expand upon that.
Like, there's a single voice clearly recorded for it, and this feels like a post-production choice thing, where they just add a load of shit into it to make it weirder and busier. And I don't know whether I'm listening to something that's on the phone or whether it's extra diegetic. I don't know whether that's sound design or score coming into it, sort of thing. But, like, somehow, like, he's some sort of Kraftwerkian monster that can just sort of gargle Moog synth noises. Yeah. And why? I mean, I get that it's supposed to be mythical, almost. And it's supposed to be, from their perspective, it feels like a haunting. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, because they've pissed off the spirit of Billy sort of thing. Yeah. But we know it's actually him just giving him a bell. Yeah. And there's no sort of anchor point for me to decide what that is. Right. Like, it's just a bad choice.
So, the phone calls in this very closely replicant of the phone calls from the original. But in the original, it's basically clearly implied that it's one guy near the phone with some kind of weird multiple personality thing going on. Have you ever seen the film Split? No. Okay, so it's about a guy with split personalities, and it's very much like he diverts into different personalities, and he replays the whole scene of his father's murder that's in flashback in this film. There are no flashbacks in the original. Okay. And the phone calls are Billy playing out his prior evil between his parents and doing impersonations of them and making sick noises and talking about smelling people's cunts and things like that. Like the original 1976, it's horrifying and brutal, these phone calls. Okay. And they're fucking great, and he makes all these weird, like, snorting pig noises down the phone. And
so in the original, it's just a dude doing it by himself, essentially.
I mean, I think it's created with various artists, but it's very carefully constructed to make it seem like it's someone who's fucking bonkers. Basically.
Which doesn't land here for me.
Right.
It sounds like just sound design bolted on afterwards.
Yeah. I'd very much like to. I hope at some point you see the original, because it is a bit of a classic, and I would love to get your opinion on how it's handled in the original versus this one.
We've agreed we're going to watch it nearer Christmas time.
Yeah.
I wanted to watch it straight after this one, but then I thought,
it's very, very different in key ways, which I'll kind of flag as I go through.
So to clarify,
yes,
I was watching this, and the first 20 minutes gave me the setup. This was a sequel to the original. That's how it played out to me. I didn't know what it was to be, per se.
Yeah, I suppose it is loosely implied, because it's implied that there was some kind of mass murder, but in the flashbacks he doesn't commit one.
But from my understanding, he was in that asylum from what he'd done in the first one. Do you see what I'm saying?
But he gets dragged away by cops, though, doesn't he, when he gets found eating the flesh biscuits later, in a flashback.
Yes, but for some reason in my head, I thought it would be canon. This was a second one.
I think that makes more sense, but I think it's a little bit more complicated than that, because because of that flashback in the 90s where he gets dragged away. Okay. I don't know if that's necessarily the case.
That is probably my misunderstanding of it. So
yeah. Well,
I understand what it is.
It's a tricky one, because I don't want to give away the original for you as well, but there's a few reasons why that's problematic to see it as a sequel. So we've had Billy's backstory. We've had a bit of chatter from the girls about it. We've had the first call. It's important to note here that one of the girls, I think it's Michelle Trachtenberg, is quite gregarious and quite aggressive, like, fuck this guy, I'm just winding him up, he's been a dick. Right. That's a direct rip of Margot Kidder's character from the original. Margot Kidder's character antagonises the Billy character to the point where in the original she kind of, like, plays along with his, like, sadomsexual stuff and, like, makes a few sexual comments back to him to antagonise him. And the lead character in the original is the final girl, if you like, is played by Olivia Hussey in the first one, and Mary Elizabeth Winstead kind of fills that role here, where she's kind of like, don't be a dick, don't antagonise this person. It's quite close the way it's shot to the original one, with technological differences. And then we get introduction of creepy girl in the house, Eve, which is an addition for the remake.
Look out, here comes a red herring. She is there simply to facilitate a swerve.
Yes.
She's never mentioned up to this point. She's never really mentioned after it until the swerve.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Eve gives Heather her Christmas present because she's drawn her in the Santa lottery. Heather's Mary Elizabeth Winstead's character, and she opens it, and it's a glass unicorn.
Very nice.
Yes.
Very nice. Very pointy. Very
yes, and also very, very, very much an iconic piece of prop from the original.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Probably one of the defining images of the original.
Okay. Cool.
So we're kind of pushing her as a potential second killer character. As you say, red herrings, ahoy.
They're jumping on the boat.
Exactly, yeah. Whoa, walking up. Oh, you canny. Zoe,
red herrings everywhere.
They're fucking throwing red herrings at me, Zoe.
Love you, Nige.
Love you, Nige. So we have flashback DOS, which is 1982 now, where Billy's locked in the attic and he's sat on his rocking horse by the window. And
Rocking chair.
Sorry, rocking chair.
Yeah.
I've written horse in my notes as well. I don't know why I did that. You're quite right. It's rocking chair.
Grown man on a rocking horse, still freaky.
Yeah. Again, the rocking chair is a thing from the original. And his mum comes up and does an incest with him.
Yeah, because her new boyfriend, they're fucking on the landing underneath the hatch where he's being kept.
Yeah.
Which is fucking weird. And he's just sat in his rocking chair listening to his mum bang, an absolute loser.
Yeah.
Then he falls asleep during proceeds. Which, fair enough if you've had a few. You're on the stairs, aren't you? It's not exactly comfy. So she goes up and pops her knickers off and bangs him.
Yeah.
And then it's 9 months later.
Yeah. So, it's a bit weird. And it's also, again, harkening back to the original.
Yeah.
The flashbacks, the incest, the existence of Billy's sister who was born 9 months later, none of that exists in the original.
Gotcha. Is the sister not in the original?
No.
Okay.
There is only Billy in the original. Abuse is alluded to in the phone calls.
Yeah.
But the phone calls in the original add a flashback.
Okay. So already the original sounding a little bit more tasteful on its delivery than this.
Yeah.
This to me took it a little bit too far.
Yeah, it's kind of getting into hostile torture porny territory here.
Like, if you want to put it in there, yes, but you need to understand the context of the wider film at large. 2 minutes prior, I was looking at the token flash piece, who is absolutely going to get naked at some point.
Yes.
Sporting a phenomenally ridiculous rack and a midriff.
Yes.
Just getting drunk and throwing up everywhere.
Yep.
That's my thing, but whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fine. Isn't it everyone's? Yeah.
And then it just switches to this, and my brain hasn't had chance to switch gear, which you could argue is something they're deliberately using to catch you off guard and make you go, oh god, that's weird.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's a sorority girls slaughter fest.
Yeah.
And just out of nowhere, it's talking about what is essentially child abuse. And it's not done very well. It's just mum pops her knickers off after fucking the guy that killed his dad, and then basically fucking her catatonic son.
Yeah.
Who gets her pregnant. I'm sure there's something behind it.
Yeah.
I thought it was just nasty in a shit way.
I think it's just shock value for the sake of shock value.
He's trying to get a rise out of me, and I'm like, nah, that's just fucking rank.
Yeah.
Pack that in.
Yeah, exactly.
Could have done anything else.
And the heavy implication is that, because obviously, 1982 to 2006, the implication being is that, it's basically lining up the timeline for Eve to be the potential Agnes, the creepy girl from the house.
Eve,
yes. Who swiftly departs after this flashback without her gift. Then we get a phone call 2 from Billy. Disappointingly, much of the same. The phone calls start as kind of just pig noises in the original, and then they get more and more and more content filled as we go, because they are as I say, they are the flashbacks, and more is revealed through them.
Okay.
And basically, we don't know any context of why the phone calls are happening, and the police kind of start trying to trace the calls and things like that.
Okay.
I don't want to go too much into the original, but there's a really nice payoff in the original with the phone calls. So it's disappointing that if this film feels like it needs to have these flashbacks to supplement them, because it's not really, you could have told it with the calls on their own, and it has been done. So clearly it can be.
And instead we get bizarre Tim Burton-esque flashbacks.
Yes. Yeah.
Complete with, like, Dr. Caligari proportioned rooms and stuff. Like, I get it. Like, the house is supposed to be almost viewed through the child's perspective. But, yeah, it just doesn't sit. It just doesn't sit to me.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. And it's very Sweeney Todd.
Yes. Yeah.
To go into your Tim Burton reference a bit more.
Yeah.
So the bloke from Scream Queens tips up again at this point, and it's kind of explained that he is not a student, he's a resident of the town that the university's in.
Right,
and he lived through the legend of Billy and all the bad things that happened there and his fucked up family. And it's...
saying we played on this street as kids. It's like, motherfucker, there's only one other house on that street.
Yeah, exactly. And it's heavily implied, the seeds are planted that he's a bit of a fucking weird character as well.
Yes.
Which never really works, because the flashbacks establish that Billy's there and Agnes is there, and it's heavily implied that Agnes would be the other part in this story. So that kind of never really lands, which is a bit weird.
He's a perfectly effective cunt, though.
Yeah, he is. He's just a bit of a fucking dick, isn't he, basically? And then we get our final flashback to 1991. Which starts with Billy's mum buying him a telescope, so he can watch the neighbours. I don't know. It's a bit of like sort of cack-handed Rear Window reference that kind of doesn't go anywhere.
This feels like a more tasteful representation of child abuse.
Yeah,
like, you're not having Christmas. I killed your dad at Christmas. Here's a telescope, and the only thing you'll ever be able to see is another family having a good time. Yeah. This is better representation of child abuse rather than dirty knickers on the floor.
Yeah, it is, but you've spunked your load already, literally and figuratively, on that. Yeah.
Oh, you got a sister and a daughter.
Yeah, and this is kind of like establishes that Billy's mum's obsessed with Agnes, because it's kind of implied in the first flashback that she was disappointed she had a son and not a daughter.
Yeah.
It's just a bit fucking weird, and then the shit really hits the fan.
Yeah.
When basically on Christmas morning, Billy, there's a nice shot through a Christmas tree of Billy, which is one of the more tastefully done moments of the film, from Agnes's point of view, because she doesn't know he exists, so it's the first time she's ever seen him.
Yeah.
Mum comes back in from the kitchen, and Billy's taken Agnes, and so he's attacked Agnes, and no, he takes her first, doesn't he?
Yeah, she's just gone at this point.
Yeah, she's gone at this point, and Mum and Stepdad are running around trying to find him, and Agnes can't find him, and then when they do, he's basically on Agnes, attacking her, and he pulls her fucking eye out.
Yes.
Now, there's something about eyes in this film, and there's a lot of obviously representation involved in eyes in cinema.
Yeah.
But none of it's really fucking expanded upon here at all, or
really
utilised in any way.
It just looks rank, and that's why they've used it. That's what it feels like. It feels like you mentioned earlier, stuff that should be in 3D.
Yeah.
This feels like some people should get their heads squeezed and their eyes should fly towards the camera.
Yeah.
It's ludicrously overplayed.
Yeah, 100% agree. And it's so heavy on the usage of eyes throughout it that it feels a bit insulting that that's not expanded upon in any way meaningfully.
Yeah, like all we need is a few throwaway lines about him seeing his dad being killed, and then just a few more references to him seeing it, and then tie it into eyes, and then basically you've got a bare bones see no evil bullshit thing.
Yeah,
you've just got something to anchor that down, so it's not a problem.
Yeah, it kind of feels like the problem with this film is it feels like it has to show you everything and not tell you some things.
Yes.
And the perfect example of that is in this flashback where Billy basically goes fucking mad. As I say, pulls Agnes's eye out and stabs his fucking stepdad through the head.
Pretty solid.
Yeah, and then battered his mum off camera with a bowling pin.
Where's Agnes?
Off camera, she's kind of obscured by kitchen units.
Well, she gets dragged into the kitchen with the fucking Christmas tree lights around her neck, doesn't she?
Yeah,
Right?
she does. Yeah.
Pretty savage.
Yeah. And then he makes cookies with her skin. This is a bit unnecessarily Hills Have Eyes, where it doesn't need to be.
Again, to do something that convoluted, Christmas-shaped cookie cutters. Yeah, get it. You don't like Christmas, but then he goes a step further, eats his mum, and then bakes it in the oven. There needs to be something that anchors this down.
Yeah. It's just iconography for the sake of iconography.
Yeah. If you beat her to death with a telescope, solid, or stabbed her through the eyeball with a telescope, you've got me.
Yeah.
You've got me. You've made your point.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, and then the cops tip up to find Billy eating his mum's flesh cookies.
Yep.
And him and Agnes are taken away. Shit and popcorn.
Popcorn.
Yeah, it's just weird. And then we go back to the house, and Claire's sister, the girl that was killed pre-credits,
Yep.
her sister tips up.
Lara Means from Millennium.
And also...
Final Destination 1.
Correct.
Yes.
I've never seen Millennium, so I didn't get that reference.
No, she's in there, yeah.
I do keep meaning to watch it. I'll get there one day.
It's alright.
Yeah.
Just tell you all about it.
Yeah.
Featured on the Millennium podcast, you can just listen to the podcast.
Did you do an episode in the end?
I've done 2 now.
Have you?
Yeah.
I'm glad that hookup worked for you.
Yeah, it did. Yes. I think he's going to bring me back for the episode where Lance Henriksen meets Kiss.
Nice.
Because he fucking hates that episode, and I distinctly remember leaving the room while it was on.
Right, okay.
Because I don't like Kiss.
Yeah.
It's season 2 Millennium, so Glenn Morgan does that as well.
Right. Very good.
It's all the things I'm not keen on.
So what, of the 2 episodes you've done so far, what did you cover?
First season was... Oh, fuck, what was it? Christ, I can't remember the first episode.
Was it a good enough shooting?
It was an alright one. It was about a guy who gaslights his missus,
right?
But has a basement where he brings young couples back after giving them drugs to photograph them, then he kills them. Right. And he poses them in weird ways like Adam and Eve and shit.
Okay.
And good episode.
Right, yeah.
In season 2 we covered 1919, I think it's called.
Right.
Where a guy... It's full of red herrings and twists. It's a really good episode. A guy gets visions of the apocalypse and abducts a load of school children and puts them in a bunker underground, and you think he's going to kill them, standard police procedural fare sort of thing.
Yeah.
But because he's been given this vision, he actually saves them from a tornado that destroys the school.
Yeah.
And he gets taken off by the tornado. It's hinted at that he gets made into an angel sort of thing.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that worked out when I hooked you up with that. I'm glad
did hook me up. Kurt is a lovely man. You've done a podcast with Kurt, haven't you?
Yeah, he does another podcast called Pick a Podcast.
That's the one, yeah.
Hi, Kurt. About podcasts.
Yeah.
Which is also on our network, along with the...
Yeah. We made this.
We made this. We did make this. Thank you, Tony.
Yes.
Thank you, Tony. Yeah, so back to this fucking shit anyway. So, oh God, it's just fucking... I'm getting quite irritated by this film at this point.
I am physically annoyed at this film.
Yeah. I think it's because... And to be honest, you've been saved, in a sense, by not watching the original.
Okay, yeah.
Because if you watch the original, you'd be really fucking annoyed.
Okay.
As I say, Claire's sister tips up, and then we have the guy from Scream Queens and Kelly try to call Claire again. Mm-hmm. Pre-credit sequence. Tag out.
Yes.
And a pin pops out of the wall on the poster behind him. There's a little peepee hole behind it. Mm-hmm. And this kind of establishes that the killer or killers are in the walls of the house. Yeah. That's canon. There's peepholes and stuff in the original, and that's quite a nice little concept.
It's decent creepy fare, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah.
The spaces behind the walls in American houses just fucking freak me out. The thought of that is fucking horrible.
Yeah.
Stop it. Just do proper insulation.
Yeah, get it right, guys.
If I ever moved to America, I'd have like £18,000 worth of expanding foam just fucking pump down that shit.
Yeah.
Straight away.
Fuck it. Gotta do it, ain't you? And then in the next sequence, Claire's sister finds a present from Billy under the tree.
Oh my god.
And it's a fucking creepy doll with no eyes. Again, no eyes.
Eyes.
I would love to say that I could see what they've done there, but I, both literally and figuratively, I don't really do anything with this whole eye allegory, which we've discussed. Just feels like content at this stage.
Matter. Pom-Bears. The Pom-Bears of the film world.
Yeah.
It's just.
I think we should put that on the artwork for this episode.
Just a load of Pom-Bears getting killed. Yeah. It's just matter. It's not carbs, it's not protein, it's just
It's just
matter.
there, floating infinitely. Yeah, and then so the guy from Scream Queens and Kelly, this is all intercut. Hear a noise in the attic, and they kind of follow that a little bit. Mm-hmm. And in these intercut scenes, it's kind of intimated as well that there's something a bit weird about Claire's sister, just trying to pump out potential killers left, right, and centre. The guy from Scream Queens trying to get Kelly into the attic. She's not keen. And then, of course, when we've not worn out enough cliches of the slasher horror film genre, we fucking hit ourselves with the big one next.
The big one.
The fucking power goes out.
But the power across the street's absolutely fine.
Correct. Yeah. No one seems to give a shit about that.
The other house across the street is just forgotten about, isn't it?
They're just sitting there like, oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
And there's a storm loosely referred to.
The police can't get there for 2 hours.
Yeah, fuck that shit.
Yeah, don't go across the street to the other house and lock yourself in.
No, that's fine.
I'm not leaving without Claire, who I didn't know who Claire was at this point.
Yeah.
I must have blinked in the first 2 seconds of this film.
Yeah,
I might have been turning the Hindi subtitles off or something.
Yeah, she gets the tag first up, and then it's just like Black Christmas. So
her sister's just there shouting about someone I don't understand who that is. Yeah,
exactly. And this is the point where I finally, and how far into this film are we now? Nearly an hour. This is the point where I finally find out what guy from Scream Queens is actually called. His name is Kyle.
Of course it fucking is. It was either Kyle, Tucker, or Dale.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like Tucker and Dale versus Evil. Seen that film?
Oh, I have. Yeah.
Fucking good fun,
mate.
So Kelly finds the video of Kyle and Claire. So Claire, the girl that he's rifling in the video, is Claire. The pre-credit tag out.
Gotcha.
His missus is Kelly.
Oh, okay.
The final girl.
Oh, yeah. Spoilers.
Yeah. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Heather, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, finds Billy's old hideout and a phone which instantly dies.
Yeah.
But we don't know whose phone that is.
Right.
It's never really alluded to again. It's weird because this timeline's all fucked up because we don't actually know if Billy's got there properly yet. We don't know if this is all Agnes.
Yeah.
But where did she come from? Where did she go?
Yeah.
Where did she come from? Cotton Eye Joe? Aye.
Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from, Cotton Eye?
Yeah, another fucking song.
Yeah. But aye.
Oh, aye. Oh, piss off.
Come on! That was all constructed deliberately, you fucker.
Wilson would have loved it.
Yeah. And then we, having completely forgotten about vomiting pissed hot girl.
I haven't. I was about to ask you when she comes back into it.
Well, she comes back into it now, when she's basically pissed, and so they kind of help her into the bathroom.
She's been drinking too much, hasn't she?
Yeah, and she's
a little bit too much in a bubbly.
Yeah, a little bit in a bubbly! And she, basically, they help her into the bathroom and say, listen, love, you need to have a shower, fucking sort yourself out. And she accidentally knocks up a little tile from the floor. This is my favourite thing about this film that was not in the original.
What? How a house can be built out of 6mm plywood and still be standing?
Yes, but it's in America, mate, isn't it? You know what I mean? No, I just like the imagery of these peepholes being everywhere. Yeah. It's quite nicely done, and this bathroom sequence doesn't exist in the first one.
No, I do like when she's in the shower, because I like when she's in the shower. But other little holes start peeking up.
Yeah, really nicely done.
The house can just sort of fall apart at any moment. Is quite a nice touch.
Yeah, for sure.
And obviously, bit of chit. The film knew that I didn't know what was going on, but I'm back in the film now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you've actually... I'm just checking out how many of my notes you've taken out with that. That's good.
It's quite a clean kill, that, wasn't it?
Yeah. And then we get... Yeah, so the next thing we have is Dana, who's the girl from Mean Girls. Gretchen from Mean Girls, to be
Gretchen
precise.
from Mean Girls, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She goes for a fag. And she drops her fag on the porch, straight through another peephole.
Which has loads of other fags at the bottom of it.
Which has... implied that that's a regular fag
Right, okay, yeah.
point, I guess.
Cool.
But it also has someone watching underneath it. And I was, like, dying for there to be, like, a bit of dialogue. And she drops it going, fucking... Ah! Totally didn't happen. But there's some scrabbling around, presumably because someone's been hit with a hot fag, which alerts her attention, and she kind of goes under the porch inexplicably, which you would never do to investigate, and she gets dragged under, and has a bit of a rumble with the killer. We don't know which killer it is she's rumbling with. I think there's a little bit of female costume floating around, so it suggests that it's Billy's sister that she's rumbling with here. I noticed costume-wise, later on it matches up a little bit more with hers. Mm-hmm. So I think this is a bit of to quote a film that we may or may not be watching at some point in the near future for the podcast, to quote Hot Fuzz, a little bit of girl on girl.
A bit of girl on girl.
Yeah. And Gretchen from Mean Girls comes off second best and gets the big tag.
With a rake.
Yeah.
Of some description, like a little portable. Fucking portable, what am I about?
Back
like
of the head.
Hand rake.
Yeah. Kill shot.
Pretty nasty, this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. You get to linger on someone bleeding out.
Yeah. It's instant paralysed death, isn't it?
Yeah, as the lights go out.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty grim, but yeah, not a bad kill, I suppose. And we kind of like one thing that is established in this scene, never revisited upon again, and can't be explained by any of the flashbacks either. Is that in the last flashback, Billy's tagged his mum and her boyfriend out, and the police arrive and presumably take all our bodies away.
Yeah.
And then he's carted off to wherever, and Agnes is taken into care. Finn, right? She falls on a skull in the garage under the house, which I can only assume is the father's.
Yeah, I assume that was the...
Or some other random shit.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like... It's just not necessary. Like, we've seen... We know the father got the tag. We don't need to see exactly where he ended up. Do you know what I mean? It feels like, again, really. Just matter. Just content.
Just stuff. Like, oh, there's a skull under there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just fucking... It's just content for the sake of content. It really is.
Yeah.
And then the girls get another call from Billy from the now dead Gretchen from Mean Girls' cell phone. More of the same. So they all go out looking for her. They find some scratch marks in the basement, and then they split off and find Eve's fucking decapitated head in her car. So that's that red herring well and truly fucking gone.
That's that mystery solved. Yep.
So yeah, that's her out. And then everyone starts arguing over what to do.
Go to the house across the road.
Yeah. Logic. No, don't do that. Don't do logic, Dave.
They even point out the house across the road has power.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, no, we're not going to go there. And for some reason they decide the best course of action is for Mary Elizabeth Winstead and the woman that kind of like looks after them.
The older lady.
Are going to go for a little road trip to try and get to the police, despite the fact that they've said the police can't get to them because the roads are blocked.
Yep.
Go figure. So they go out to do that. So the old woman gets out of the car to clear the snow off it. At which point I thought, well, what's going to happen here? Because up to this point, I was convinced that Mary Elizabeth Winstead was going to be the final girl.
Yes.
And
even though she said like 4 words.
Yeah. But she's the only presence really. And so when the old woman gets out of the car to clear the snow, I was like, she's getting the tag here. Mary Elizabeth Winstead's going to have to fucking like do some shit with this car.
Yeah.
It turns out it's the other way round.
I'm gonna just kill this bitch off screen, basically.
That got me, that.
It was a swerve. Yeah. I did not see it coming.
It was a legitimately well-crafted swerve, that.
Yeah.
And I think, although we're ragging on this film a little bit, we have to give credit where credit is due.
It Janet lead me, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was clearly the intention, but it worked.
It did work, yeah.
I think it's because she had not too much dialogue, she wasn't too involved, but at the same time she was like a recognisable star.
And a positive voice throughout the film.
Yeah.
Like, don't be a dick about it.
She was kind of not too at the forefront, but just floating along enough.
Yeah.
So yeah, good sequence this. Good sequence. Probably one of the stronger sequences of the film, I think.
Yeah. And the eye, when she clears the windscreen, is like the eye through the thing and a blood splatter against the windscreen.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all you see. You don't ever see Winstead again.
No.
Fair.
No, yeah.
Cool.
Exactly, that's done. And then the old woman gets impaled by an icicle accidentally. This is an accidental tag. The icicle's established a little bit earlier with Gretchen from Mean Girls, where she's having a fag and the fag gets dripped out by an icicle.
Yeah.
I think there's an icicle kill in the original as well. It's more deliberate. Yeah, that is what it is. It's a little bit strange.
It's slipping on a banana skin.
Yes, yeah. It's a bit carry on screaming, isn't it? Really.
Yes, and I'm all good with an icicle going through an eyeball. Like, yeah, fair fucks.
Yeah.
Literally going through brain matter and breaking through the back of your skull. Nah.
No. Yeah.
With an eyeball just banging off the camera lens as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, it's fun.
Yeah.
It is a good sequence and it is fun. But again, it just slapped me out of the film.
Yeah. Now, I thought the next kill, Melissa, I thought this was Trachtenberg that got killed next. When she gets her eye popped out and dragged off on the hallway.
Yep.
Is that not her?
No.
Who the fuck's Trachtenberg then?
I would show you a picture, but the picture on IMDb, she literally looks like every other girl in a film.
I've seen pictures of her, but like, I don't. Is she dead already?
No.
Which one is she?
Her kill is when she's dragged out through the doorway and she fights whoever it is off. And she runs back into the room. You think, oh yeah, she's going to be final girl. She's going to fuck them up big time. She's going to turn it into a Home Alone house. And then they pick up an ice skate and throw it at her head. And her face goes off.
I don't even remember that kill.
You don't remember that kill? That's all the while when Jugs is passed out on the bed, they just find out she's died.
Fucking hell, I must have nodded off for that. I don't even remember that kill at all.
No?
So she gets the kill that What's-His-Face gets in Halloween H2O?
Yes.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, literally an ice skate thrown at her head. And then it's her face with two googly eyes dangling down, she dies.
I don't even remember that bit.
You don't remember the ice skate?
No.
Oh, actually, there's two different versions of the film.
Okay, well...
I remember reading about this now.
Right, was there a hallway kill in your version? That I've just described?
That's the difference.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, so in the version I watched, she gets popped out.
There's two different rated cuts. Yeah.
Right, okay.
In my version, she puts up a fight,
Right.
kicks whoever it is, and fucks him up.
Right.
And then you think she's going to get out through the window and be final girl situation. But no, ice skate thrown at the head.
Right. So the deciding vote on this goes to Wilson. Wilson, which version did you watch?
Well, the same one that I fucking watched because he gave it to me.
Fair enough. Okay. Well, that's interesting. I did not know there was a...
That's why we've been confused.
Oh, okay.
I'm glad we didn't come to blows over two different versions of it.
No, that'd be awkward, wouldn't
Blade
it?
Runner.
Fuck Blade Runner. Yeah, so the next thing that happens is as described, the vomit girl, we discover, has had her eyes taken out. Mm-hmm. Kelly gets yet another call from Billy. Like, to the point where it's like, someone should really overdub the frequency and irritation of the call. Someone should really dub in like one of them PPI calls over these scenes.
Yeah.
Because it has the same reaction.
Just do a supercut throughout the entire film.
Yeah, that'd be beautiful.
Hi, I'm calling about the accident you had last year. What the fuck's going on? What the fuck's going on? Yeah, I'm calling from your insurance company.
No, fuck off.
No.
Yeah, so Kyle the weird fucking local dickhead, tips up again, and him and Kelly decide to make a run at the attic.
Mm-hmm.
So they do. Kyle gets dragged up and tagged. Pretty sharpish, pretty brutally, stabbed repeatedly in the eyes.
Yep.
Some pretty, like, gruesome wise.
Pretty nasty stuff. Can we see who the killer is yet?
We're starting to see flashes of hair and things like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, he eats the tag. There's fucking all sorts of like weird cuts between what look like Christmas lights at first when Kelly's looking at it, and then there is the reveal then of Agnes, and then it's like fucking there's eyeballs everywhere. There's fucking eyeballs decorating trees, fucking eyeballs hanging like mistletoe.
Yep.
Eyeballs, but no follow up on eyeballs other than Agnes got hers taken out by Billy.
And she's big into collecting eyeballs.
She fucking is, like, she loves an eyeball.
So is she the one that's been doing all the killings?
It would seem like it at this stage.
To quote Juice Bigelow,
Yes,
Male gigolo.
Yeah.
"That's a huge bitch."
She's a girthy girl. And she's ready to fuck some shit up.
She's good stock, isn't she?
She's thick set. It's my big-
Painfully thick.
Yeah.
Like clotted cream.
Yeah, and I love this little bit. This fucking got a pop out of me. Is Lee, the sister of our first killed girl pre-credits, tips up to make the big save, and then she immediately gets shanked through the loft. It's like jobbed out within 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Like she fucking gives it Billy Big Bollocks and then gets shanked through the loft.
It's a 10-second rumble run, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Straight up above it's by the Seamus or something.
Absolutely, mate. And that leaves Kelly and Agnes, who have a bit of a rumble. Kelly forks Agnes in the eye, but it's a fake eye. So it has no it has, in the words of Pokemon, it has no effect.
It's not very effective.
It's not very effective. Sort it out, Ash. Congratulations for winning that thing for the first time in Pokemon history, the tournament, whatever it is.
Oh yeah, because he won something for the first time.
Yeah,
Someone
yeah.
actually came into the shop to tell me that the other day.
I
I was like,
I didn't realise he'd never been the Pokemon World Champion or whatever it was.
no, he's always been shown as overambitious and overly humbled
Yeah.
by a superior opponent. Either the opponent is a bad guy that neglects his Pokemon, and therefore Ash is shown as the good guy anyway, or he's just beaten by someone better because he pushed his Pokemon too far.
Right.
Because ultimately it's a fucking blood sport.
Yes. It's Battle Royale.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen Detective Pikachu, by the way?
No.
Actually, probably worth your time.
Okay.
It's a kid's film.
Yeah. I know a couple of people who did a little bit of work on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Very nice. Bill Nye, yeah, you know him?
Oh, yeah, Bill. Yeah,
Big
good
Bill.
mates. I'll let you know if I ever meet Bill Nye. I'd do some Shaun of the Dead impressions. It'll all be fine.
There's a girl in the attic.
Hey! Yeah, back to the attic. The skewer from earlier came back in because I think that's what she nobbled the fake eye of Agnes out with. So how did it end up in the attic from being in the front room earlier? Don't know, but there we go.
Well, I don't know.
It ended up there. Hey, I see what you did there.
No, you had that one now.
Oh,
No, you can't have that one twice. Frosty reception from you there.
God, that's making me a bit glassy-eyed.
You just need to present these jokes better.
Yeah, true. They're not an eye patch on some of my previous work.
Moving on. Fucking hell.
Billy tips up. There's two of them. He's here.
So Billy's arrived.
So Billy's arrived. No one really gives a fuck.
Surprise running.
Yeah, surprise running. Exactly. Yeah. Kathy falls down a gap in the wall due to the rumble she's having with Agnes. Billy's trying to reach her from the top, and Agnes is climbing up some not bad imagery with it's quite Hills of Eyes, even though this is prior to or around the same time as they've got that sort of creepy inbred Hills of Eyes vibe going on here.
Yeah. And he's dressed in his jammies and he's all yellow like he was when he was a kid.
Yeah.
So it feels like that's bookended. That's quite nicely done.
Yeah. And there's and Lee's trying to dig Agnes. Lee's trying to dig her out of the Kelly out of the wall. There's a nice little bit here where she's following the screams to figure out where to dig, and she smashes through one bit. And she's like, "Oh fuck, sorry, that's you, Billy. I'll go further down," which I thought was quite nice. And she goes further down. She digs her out of the wall, drags her through just in the nick of time. Basically, lots of Christmas stuff from the loft is dragged down, a fire is started, they pour paint thinner on it, and they burn the fuck out of the pair of Billy and Agnes.
Fuck 'em.
Cut to the hospital.
Oh wait, the film's ended. No, it hasn't.
I'll let you take this bit, Dave.
There's still some more time on the timeline. Surely this film's been going on for 2 hours now. So yeah, they do get to the hospital. It is Laura Means, Lee, is she called?
Yep.
And final girl, and everything looks to be resolving itself, but we're still here. So
Yeah,
it
yeah.
isn't. And does she need to get blood tests or something?
She's asked because, well, it's Lee who gets asked because they're the only people that have ever seen Agnes, apparently, despite the fact that Agnes was taken somewhere when her parents were killed, so someone's seen her, to ID Agnes's body.
Or yeah, we want to do this right now though. It's got to be done right now.
Yeah, yeah.
In this very sensitive moment. Yeah. I know you're in shock, but we got to do this right now.
And so they peel back the body bag, and it's Lee's sister, not Agnes, in the bag.
Yes.
Like, that's not her. They're like, oh, sorry, love, off you go. I think, despite the fact that there's a lot of gore and a lot of fairly top-end kills, I'm going to nominate Lee's death as Kill of the Week, because it's a crunchy neck snap.
It is a crunchy neck snap, isn't it?
Some good sound design in there.
It's just short to the point.
Yeah.
No particular. Well, there is build-up, but it's not forced build-up.
No.
It's just done.
Efficient.
Considering she survived till the end and you didn't think she would last this long.
Yeah.
I was expecting her to be off pretty much 10 minutes after showtime.
So there you go. So she's out. And this is really dragging on too long now, isn't it? Yeah, sorry, she was in Kelly's bed and she snapped Lee's neck. So she went back to... Because Kelly was out having a piss or whatever. It's intercut with Billy being dead as fuck, like, confirmed.
Yeah.
He's flatlined. He's done. And then Kelly finds Lee's blooded watch in her bed, which was given to her as a gift by her sister, which was...
Oh, it says trust on it, or something like that,
it was
is it?
family shit. Whatever it is. Something
Plus,
about family.
Agnes has been in the bed, so it stinks of shit.
Yeah. So she knows something's afoot. The tension is alright. I think this is like the only scene in the film that has any actual tension in it, because it's the only film they give it the time to have tension.
Yeah. This was my preferred part of the film, was the last 5 minutes.
Yeah. Kelly knows something's up. She pushes the emergency button, but no one notices because there's some kind of fucking like pandemonium going on in the emergency room where someone's fucking... So there's something going on in the background.
They're doing something really mundane, like watching a... Oh no, it's a fucking choir singing in reception.
Oh, right.
Fuck
Yeah.
off.
Something slightly contrived is happening in reception, and Agnes comes through the roof. It's like a fucking ninja.
Like a fucking big ninja.
Yeah, fucking a chonker of a ninja.
That's a huge bitch.
Yeah. And another good kill here, I think. Agnes has a bit of a shocking time here.
She does.
Yeah.
Heads above the rest of the other kills in the movie, I think, for me.
Whee! Yeah, I think there's a certain electricity in this scene.
Absolutely. It's like, clear that, this is the kill of the week for me.
Yeah, it was a real shock to the system to see it happen. Yeah, she gets defibbed to the head. And there we go. And it's Finn, and there's another Black Christmas coming soon. And hopefully it'll be better than this one.
Yeah.
Watch the original.
I'm going to watch the original. I'm going to watch it around Christmas time.
Yeah, do that.
Just to get myself Christmas spirit.
Yeah, do it.
Yes.
Final thoughts, David?
I thought it was an absolute fucking mess.
Yeah.
The stuff you pointed out, there was stuff that I missed. Not because of my neglecting the film. I was watching it. We had a dedicated film night for this entire round of films I was watching. I wasn't doing anything else. I just missed stuff. And I'm not a person that normally misses things as such. I might misconstrue them and get them wrong, but I will always spot things.
Yeah.
And there was just so many little links that you've kind of pointed out that I just didn't get.
No. And there's so much happening all the time as well.
And that's probably why.
There's just shit being thrown at the wall to see what sticks.
And I'm alright with people being thick as fuck in horror films. Like, if it facilitates things moving forward, it's okay.
Yeah.
But the people in this are infuriatingly fucking just doing shit to up the body count.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Bit of tip making a save so I could finish the film.
Yeah.
Just to revitalise my brain a bit.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it was shite.
Okay.
I think there's some good bits in there, mainly the hospital stuff at the end, when they take the time to build tension and stuff and do a decent payoff.
Yeah.
And it's more satisfying when they do that.
Yeah.
There's too many characters in it for deaths. Too many characters that look the same, at least.
Yeah.
But that's my final thoughts.
Okay.
Bite is sen.
I think it's a mess. I think there's far too much shit being thrown at the wall.
Yeah.
And no time for breathing space.
No.
Flashbacks unnecessarily. Could have been done in a different way. Mm-hmm. But on the positive side, there's some good kills in here. And he's guilty of many things, this film. Many, many things. But it's not guilty of my number one criteria for fucking shitness.
Is that being boring?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not boring. You can't accuse it of being boring. I don't think.
No, I suppose I was involved in it
Yeah.
most of the way through, but it did drag.
It did drag, Versus what its running time is, yeah. It did.
What is running time altogether? Is it 82?
Yeah, it's like 82 minutes, I think.
And then I shaved 5 minutes off for credit, so it's under 80.
Yeah. And it's kind of like, I cannot say that it's one of the worst times I've had, because it isn't. I've had loads of worse times.
Oh,
on
yeah,
this
definitely.
podcast
Yeah.
but yeah, it's not very good.
No, it feels like they want to do more,
Yeah.
but they're stuck with this delivery mechanism, which is tits and blondes in a house.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're trying to, they need to tick the boxes, but they want to do something else. Because, like I said earlier, just out of nowhere, just like the mum just drops her pants and fucks a catatonic kid. Like, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
What? Is there 2 films here or something like that?
Yeah. Exacto. Now I do have, and I'll have to just step back from the recording mic for a moment.
You're not going to shout at you.
I have some final thoughts from Chris Wilson on my phone.
Excellente.
From live from the North Pole. Let me just trying to plug. Oh.
See, you've got the squeakiest chair this time.
Yeah, I know. I have, haven't I?
Oh yeah, plug his keyboard back in. Fucking hell.
Yeah, exactly. You won't know. Right. Oh shit.
You alright, biggin?
Got a bit of bellyache. Chris Wilson's final thoughts are as follows. Appreciated the kills, but it never grabbed me. Felt surprisingly pretentious in places.
Yep.
What I'm saying is, it's no Santa's sleigh, is it?
Yeah, he's hit the nail on the head there. With the pretentiousness, definitely.
Yeah. So that was Chris Wilson's final thoughts. So I'm going to douse this in some shit and popcorn. Mine's changed quite a bit, having talked about it.
Yeah.
I'll go first.
Can you tell me your initials and your revised?
Initials were 6 shit 7 popcorns.
Fucking hell. Alright, lad.
Yeah. So I'm going to go for 6 shit still.
Yeah, fair. Okay.
I'm going to drop that down to 5 popcorns.
Yes.
6 and a 5 for me. Mm-hmm. How about you, David S. Salamander Walker?
Yes. Known for living in rock pools for 300 years.
Yes.
The salamander is here to cast his vote.
Yes.
Turds. Eight.
That is turdy. Mm-hmm. Right, okay, fair.
Mm-hmm. Some of it deliberately, I believe, on their part. Yeah. I think it's shoveling its own shite in a lot of respects.
For sure.
But it slips on the snow and the shite just lands on a kid or its own face or something at times. Like,
it's like when you land in yellow snow situation.
Yes, yeah. There's an element of like forced irony in it that's just not
for you.
Not for me, yes. And it just doesn't work, I don't think. Popcorns, 4.
Okay. Allow me to consult Chris Wilson's shit and popcorn. You can imagine, you know Chris Wilson quite well, so I'll let you once again guess Chris Wilson's shit and popcorn. So we'll start with the turds.
8.
So Chris Wilson's turd rating was 6.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Popcorn's got to be 4.
Chris Wilson's popcorns was 6.
Really?
Yeah. Appreciated the kills, obviously.
Fucking hell. Fair enough.
So there you go.
I thought this was going to be cut and dry garbage, but...
So I feel like this is almost, not as divisive, but almost another Invaders from Mars situation where you've had a torrid time.
I've not had a torrid time.
Well,
I didn't...
You preferred it to Invaders from Mars?
To a degree.
Yeah. Different kind of bad?
Yeah, Invaders from Mars, I was... I don't know, like... I watch a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And I enjoy watching shit. Both enjoy watching crap, and we can still have a good time because it was 90 minutes, and we laughed at it, and it got a rise out of me now and again.
For sure.
Like, it was all right.
Yeah.
Like,
so, have you been surprised by mine, and particularly Chris Wilson's scores then?
Not especially.
Right. Okay.
It could be construed as a middle of the road experience.
Yeah.
But we thought throughout the shared opinion between me and Eleanor that it was shite. It was infuriating in places. It tried to get rises out of us just completely unnecessarily. Yeah.
It was shite, but also I will contend that we've watched a lot worse shite than that.
Yes, I mean, in this case, the shite rating also quantifies a bit of enjoyment. It was that high.
Yeah.
But I can't give it that many popcorns because it did drag.
Yeah.
It really fucking dragged.
There we go.
Yes.
That was that.
That was that.
Black Christmas 2006. Join us next year for Black Christmas 2019. I suppose we've got another one then, haven't we?
Oh, we have, yeah. I'll watch the original by then.
Yeah, I reckon it'll be better, but you should watch the original, for sure.
Give the original a go.
Right, well, I guess it's goodbye from me.
It's goodbye from me.
And it's a very, very, very flipping very nice Christmas from Chris Wilson, who's not here.
Ho, ho, ho!
No, fuck off.
You should be asleep. No presents. Bye.
Don't forget, you can follow us and keep up with all our updates, regular updates, possibly, maybe, hopefully, if Wilson gets his arse in gear, at CineMortuary on Twitter, /CineMortuary on Facebook, and of course, at CineMortuary on Instagram. I don't know how you do pictures of podcasts, but we're going to do that anyway.
Smelling people's cunts.